Today, the entire thing is a financial investment. It's a freaking part of your job. It's like, what? Whatever happened to, hey, playing good games and liking them and want to just have a great time with the competition? Seems like those days are gone. Just like what's happened with all competitive sports and stuff like that. It becomes more about how do you print money rather than how do you make it actually meaningful. Urban style individual.
What's up with y'all? Hopefully this video finds you in good spirits, and if not, well, at least you're not DSP. In this video, we're going to examine just how desperate Phil is to be taken seriously by the FGC. So let's get into it.
So back in the day, all right, there was no you bring your own joystick to the tournament. It was you go to the tournament and you play on whatever setups they have. Before the era of everything being on console, you had to play on arcade cabinets. So now you're at the mercy of the person who owns that cabinet actually keeping it up to tournament standard. So
this is my question though. How many times have we heard this? I mean, over the course of almost 20 years, he had to have told this story at least a couple thousand times, right? And this comes off to me a lot like, you know, when you're at work and you're around the water cooler or you're in the break room for your lunch break, and you have that guy who's always talking about back in high school, how he could bench however much weight or how he was a football star. And you can just tell he's full of shit. This is how this comes off to me, but I'm letting him continue.
We kind of put up with the same crap back then. The only difference today is it's not the joystick that's the problem. It's the visuals that's the problem. What the fuck? I flew all the way out here to play on a bunk setup that doesn't work. Like, what are you doing? Obviously, that shouldn't be, but that's how it was back then. Today, they're flying across the world to play in Capcom Pro Tour, and there's fucking massive lag in the setup. Why am I even playing? Now, for the record, all right,
what is up with all this bouncing around and moving and swaying, dude? It's so awkward how animated he is when he speaks. I don't know if that's part of the whole Pignosis thing or he got that out of some how to code 101 or how to code for dummies book or something. It's just odd to me.
this is the equivalent of playing online and having massive lag or having your inputs drop. It's exactly the same. So, you know, when I play fighting games online and I'm constantly complaining that this is stupid and not competitive, that's exactly what's happening in Capcom Pro Tour right now at this Blink respawn. And all the pro players are speaking out against it.
But you know what they weren't doing? They were not filming themselves crying endlessly about a video game the way you do. They acted like adults. They had a problem and they handled it like adults handle it. Now, sure, they went to the internet to create awareness, but they're not kicking and screaming and pulling their hair out the way you do. And I know all y'all who listen to me right now, they've seen one of his Street Fighter streams, but the endless amount of complaining, I mean, it's constant. Unless he has to take a break or something. But if his mouth is moving, he's complaining.
It's the same exact situation, only they're playing offline and having the same problems as if they were playing online with lag. That's really stupid, right? This should be fixed. In fact, quite frankly, the results of this tournament should be fucking scrapped. Because if it's not the same as all the other events, then it should not count. And everyone should be given refunds, and they should be taken to task for running a shitty event. What?
Look at Phil, always trying to be a constant provocateur. Look, Phil, things happen, okay? But a lot of how things are going to play out is how you respond to the things that happen. Your response is always to respond like a toddler and have an emotional outburst. But most reasonable people are going to understand that things are not going to always work out exactly the way you want them to. And so you roll with the punches. All right. No, we're not about to go to Walmart and buy a bunch of poster board and magic markers and make signs and pick it outside of the FGC because of some lag, man. Like, everybody's not you, dude.
Kills me is that this is very similar, as I've explained, to problems that we used to run into in the FGC over 20 years ago. Yet they still persist in 2025. I mean, this is a fucking clown show circus. Like, what is going on? All this money is at stake and you still can't figure your shit out over 20 years later.
Wow. His self-awareness stat is on -5. I mean, you would think before he speaks, he would say, you know what, that kind of sounds like me. I'm gonna keep that to myself. Nope, it just flies right out. I mean, typical Phil, always talking about himself, couching it in other things, man. I mean, Phil, you've been doing this for almost 20 years and you still have issues with tech streams. You still have issues. Didn't he have issues turning on the damn Nintendo Switch console? So, what really are you talking about? The people who designed this game are dealing with factors that are far more complex than anything you will ever understand. And I'm not making an excuse for a faulty product. I'm just saying there's levels to this.
Well, guess what? EVO 2025 has seen a sharp decrease in attendees. I thought that the fighting game community was healthy and everyone says that these modern games are more popular than ever. I mean, they're selling like hotcakes, right? So I'm confused and it makes me scratch my head. Like, what's going on right now? EVO Japan 2025 had record highest attendees, over 8,648. All right, look, they had a distinct increase of around 2,000 players from the year before. And they pulled in 1,500 more people for Street Fighter 6. Again, this is just a few months ago. This was May. All right, so you can argue, well, maybe fighting games just in general are on a decline. Not really. In Japan, they're actually growing. EVO Japan grew and got more players, okay? Now, as you can see, EVO Japan is not nearly on the level as EVO Vegas, because even though they have 6,500 players for Street Fighter 6, take a look at Tekken. Take a look at Guilty Gear Strive. So the rest of the tournaments are way, way, way smaller, okay? So, in this regard, the question is, if Japan is growing, what happened to EVO Vegas? All right.
This dude he struggles so hard at trying to formulate a position. I mean, you can tell he's trying to come up with this as he's going. He really doesn't have a point. If anybody watched this, it really was a nothing burger. But to me, it just showcased how much of his ego is attached to that 4th place finish at EVO. That will always be the pinnacle of accomplishment for Phil Burnell. So anytime he has a chance to harken back to that, you best believe he's going to. And that's what this really is about. Him bringing attention to his fighting game, what he believes is his fighting game prowess and quote unquote his knowledge. But what he doesn't understand is nobody cares. Not detractors, not your dents, and certainly not the FGC. So who really is this for? Phil is doing this for himself. Because this has no entertainment value whatsoever.
EVO was sold from the Canon brothers. They sold it to Sony. What Sony decided to do, they wanted to go global. Instead of EVO just being one time a year in Vegas, they decided to try to do an entire tournament circuit. There used to just be one EVO. Now there's going to be 4. Back in the day, EVO was the place to be if you wanted to be good at fighting games. Why? Because EVO used to be the one time a year where the entire fighting game world would converge on one location. Well, guess what? Now everything is live streamed. So basically, the Canon sold out, EVO goes corporate, EVO's quality declines, sharp decrease in players.
No, what happened is they took a concept that was functional and that was successful, and they put a big shot of steroids into it and took it global, which I think a lot of people who are coming up now who want to be fighting game players professionally would appreciate. Because unlike you, who had your mother's money to send you all over the country so you can play your damn fighting games, some people actually had to pay for this on their own. And I know what the official narrative is. He paid for it. He was doing. I don't believe any of that. Okay. I don't think for a second that he was going about the business, hustling up his money and working a job. That sounds like too much work. Okay. I firmly believe that his parents were funding those things, because if they didn't, he'd be at the house with his arms crossed, pouting the same way he does on stream.
Anywhere you stay in Las Vegas is a resort, because Las Vegas is a tourist town. Every single hotel is charging you hundreds of extra dollars just to stay there for one night for no reason. Las Vegas.
Well, you charge hundreds of dollars and people get nothing. At least, at least the hotel, you get a bed. You could take a shower, right? You can lay in it. You can watch television. It's a lot of different options that you have. You in climate control. So it's a lot of different things that you can do with that couple $100 that you're talking about, because you asking for a couple $100 every single day. And what are you offering that's on par with what they're offering in Vegas? Nothing. So just stop.
Vegas, I think it was like 3-4 years ago or 5 years ago. It was pre-COVID, I think. Like the mayor of Vegas gave one of the Cannon brothers the key to the city. Oh, yeah. Sorry if I'm a little biased against those two jokers, but yeah, the key to the fucking city.
And that's part of the reason why you will always be on stream begging strangers to sustain your lifestyle, because you're so jealous and you're so envious. And somebody like you cannot be in a position of power. You cannot ascend. You cannot have a huge platform, because we know what you did with it when you did have one. Do I have to go back to those Xbox friend request videos or to the countless videos of you cursing somebody out because somebody's running ads on your videos? It's so many things there that showcase why you are where you are, and it's where you belong.
People back in the day who used to play it did it for the love of it. We did it because we loved the games. We knew when we went to EVO, even if we freaking placed in the top 3, you weren't making money. I got 4th place at EVO and Super Turbo. I made nothing. I didn't care. I was there because I wanted to learn and show that I was good at fighting games. That's all I cared about.
Good for you. Even though we don't believe that, because we know the driving force behind most of the things you do is financially based. So you're not going to tell me now that you were just some grassroots kid who was just so in love with Street Fighter that you traveled all over the country to go to fighting game tournaments. It takes money to travel, Phil. Who are you talking to, bro? Everybody's not as ignorant as your dents. Okay, you're not going to convince us for a second that you were just doing that for passion. I don't believe that. Okay, and nobody else believes that either.
Today, the entire thing is a financial investment. It's a freaking part of your job. It's like, what? Whatever happened to, hey, playing good games and liking them and want to just have a great time with the competition? Seems like those days are gone. Just like what's happened with all competitive sports and stuff like that. It becomes more about how do you print money rather than how do you make it actually meaningful.
Once again, Phil is the only one that's allowed to make money. If anybody else is making money, you're automatically Thanos, essentially. I mean, seriously, what are the people who are hosting these events supposed to do? Do it for free? Does that make sense? You won't even give away a damn chat badge for free or a kick badge for free. But you would like these people to host an international event that's held in different places in the world, and it should be cheap and it shouldn't be for money. This dude is so far removed from reality. I don't think he could recognize it if it was standing right in front of him. Seriously, the things that comes out of his mouth on the daily basis just showcases just how out of touch he actually is. And this is why nobody in the FGC will ever touch you. So it doesn't matter how many of these little rants you put together or what you believe to be a good articulation of the current events so they can take you seriously. It's never going to happen. You know why? Because you put that clown mask on. Remember that, Phil? And once you put the makeup on, it never comes off, pimp, or something like that, right? I might be misquoting the guy, but it was something similar to that. And because you've allowed yourself to stay in this situation for so long, it doesn't matter even if you do say something that's noteworthy, which is rare. You're so toxic, people don't even want to be associated with you. It doesn't matter what you do. And it couldn't have had happened to a better person.
For anyone who's going to EVO in 2 weeks, I wish you good luck. I don't know if any of my viewers will be or not. This is something that I wanted to cover because it's actually meaningful to me. It's something I grew up with. Okay.
He said, I don't know if any of my viewers are going to be there. No, Phil, they won't be there. They'll be here on the stream trying to prop your life up like they always are, getting berated by you when they don't punch the numbers into the computer fast enough. None of your dents are going to damn EVO. How the hell they going to afford EVO and you? Unless one of your dents a millionaire or something, man. Because there's another portion of this video or this segment where he goes on and on and on about the cost and how much it costs, yada, yada, yada. Phil, how much do you cost? Seriously, your dents, you should be sending them your social security number, your date of birth, and any other pertinent information that they can use to file taxes on your ass. Seriously, they should get the child income tax or whatever it is. They should be getting that for Phil. Now I'm having a little fun with this, man. But, you know, I seen him talking about this. I said, oh my God, here we go again. This guy trying to make a point that nobody cares about. So hopefully somebody in the FGC will feel sorry for him and showcase his video and he gets a bump. Because all Phil really doing right now is well fishing. And just like everything else he does, it's pathetic. I appreciate all the support I've been getting lately for our subs and comments and all that. It's been crazy. But that's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Urban style content. I'm dead.